The League of Elder dares to be unusual. It's easy to be swept away in this bold and uninhibited landscape where fantastic heroes become old friends and sinister villains inhabit every dark corner. Dare to explore things best left alone. Each book is your lantern, lighting the path to a world never before seen.
Life seems to crush your dreams, so find your balance for all your needs. A little work, some family fun. Find your love, keep your life on the run. Life seems to crush your dreams, so find your balance for all your needs. A little work, some family fun. Find your love, keep your life on the run. Told you how the story goes, so write your own script before you grow old. Live your life, laugh out loud. Own who you are, stand up proud. You gotta find what works for you. Find a balance that lets you be you.
Good evening and welcome to the Star Chamber Show live podcast. It is a great Wednesday evening here in Lexington, Kentucky for episode number 489. Only 11 away from the big 500 milestone. And it's a cold night here in Lexington right now. We got a little bit of snow and ice on the ground, but not as bad as some of the other areas of the country. So yeah, just settle in, kick back, get your favorite beverage, and get ready because we got one heck of a guest for you tonight. He is a Imaginarium favorite and a favorite of a lot of people around here. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But of course, I'm going to have to give you, of course, the good news in the first segments that we always do about the Imaginarium convention. And of course, the Star Chamber Show is the official podcast of the Imaginarium convention. You can follow Star Chamber Show on Blue Sky, on X, also on Instagram and Facebook, and definitely encourage you to spread the word on those platforms. And of course, you were hosted on the fine Podbean network, and the day after, you can always find us on all the bigger platforms, all your Spotify's and YouTube's, iHeartRadios, and all those kind of places. So welcome to the chat room, everybody that's coming in tonight. I see some great folks rolling in. Award-winning filmmaker and screenwriter Amy Lee McCorkle, award-winning author and screenwriter Carol Preflatish. I'll see another award-winning author and screenwriter D.L. Hearn. Dewan, yes. Moon is in the house. Good to see you, and definitely come on in, settle in. It is going to be me solo tonight. We've had, as you know, and if you've been listening to previous episodes, Holly is having quite the adventure with her daughter's pregnancy situation up in Cincinnati, and she's taking care of the other 3 kids right now in Indiana. And so, yeah, it's a complicated mess, and Diana's actually was being induced today. So, yeah, there is a lot of stuff going on. It's been crazy, so to say the least. So, so Holly will not be in tonight, but don't worry. Our guest is here tonight, and we are going to have a great show nonetheless. And, of course, give you all the latest updates on Imaginarium. And, of course, we did have a big announcement on Monday with Final Destination creator Jeffrey Reddick, a great guy and one that's been to some of the early Imaginariums and helped us get solidified off the ground. Great guy, and we announced it on Monday. We are going to have to pause in promoting Jeff right now, though, because a couple days after his agent actually caught that there may be a slim chance of a schedule conflict regarding film production. So we just have to make absolutely certain that's not the case. And so hopefully that'll be resolved very shortly. So yeah, hold on to that thought on that. But we also did add some more great folks, some great panelists, and we added, of course, returning to Imaginarium's author J.M. Shelley, and along with him, if coming to Imaginarium for the first time as a panelist, is author and librarian Diana Morgan. Then we also announced cover artist, and graphic designer Graham Ganson. And let me tell you, he is a phenomenal, multifaceted artist. Does a lot of different stuff, and is also a great book cover artist. I can attest to that. And if you need to see his latest example, it's on the cover of my book, Rise of the Voyagers. But yeah, spectacular cover artist. And then also coming with him, he also has a very talented wife who is also an artist, and also is a leather crafter and jewelry crafter, and she runs Wings of Joy, and that would be Joy Ganson. So we're very excited to have all of them aboard as well. And in addition to spotlighted guest, award-winning filmmaker and actor Chase Dudley of Cut to the Chase Entertainment. And Chase just keeps on just making all kinds of progress. Yeah, he's currently fundraising right now for his latest project, and he has several great feature films, many of them multi award winning. And he and his wife Samantha run the production company Cut to the Chase Entertainment. But Chase is an absolutely phenomenal guest to have, and we will be looking forward to having him again with us next summer at Imaginarium. So just a few reminders. We are going through some more reservations for the awards banquets. And as you know, the expo spaces had all sold out much earlier this year. So yeah, if you need awards banquet dinner tickets, don't wait on that, because those will sell out. And gauging by how things are going, they're going to sell out earlier than they did last year. So don't wait on that. And also, if you would consider it, become an individual patron or a sponsor, because we've got some more big guest possibilities that we are looking at and pursuing, and the sponsorships are a big part of what allow us to make those happen. So give it some thought. We have several levels available, and in our individual patron level, but those help a lot. And then, of course, a reminder to get your entries in for our 2026 Imaginarium Independent Film Festival. Wide array of categories. We add more categories each year. And then, of course, we are an all-genre film festival, and welcome that international and domestic projects. So definitely get those things in for sure via Film Freeway, and you can also get screenplays in through the International Screenwriters Association. So that'll get you up a little bit on all that. And then, of course, personally, just want to quickly mention that, this is my release week for Rise of the Voyagers. I describe it as 1984 and Brave New World meets Narnia. It's a real blender of genres with dystopian, utopian, futurism elements, fantastical elements, and I think folks that enjoy a range of different kinds of fiction would love it. And I have another book coming out next Monday, As Above, So Below, New Hong V Shadow Walker tale. So yeah, consider picking up those for stocking stuffers. But I will have my first. I can also announce I'll have my first event of the year on January the 17th at Fabled Forest in Georgetown, Kentucky. I'll be doing a signing appearance there for both of these new books, and that just got confirmed this early evening. So yeah, a little bit of late breaking news, and I'm really looking forward to coming back to Fabled Forest. Bobby is an amazing store owner and definitely a great person to know. So definitely check it out, and I'm really looking forward to going back into Fabled Forest, and definitely want to see some friendly faces there while I am there. And so yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and we'll go give you the folks that brought you tonight's show. The always supportive Ren Garcia and the always supportive Sandy Lender, the genre blender. And first we'll go with Ren, and then we'll give you a bit about Sandy. So here's a bit about Ren.
The League of Elder dares to be unusual. It's easy to be swept away in this bold and uninhibited landscape where fantastic heroes become old friends and sinister villains inhabit every dark corner. Dare to explore things best left alone. Each book is your lantern, lighting the path to a world never before seen. So what do you say? Are you weird enough for us?
Of course we are, Ren. Yes, speaking on behalf of Holly and all of us here. Absolutely. And definitely, I've been talking to Ren about coming down as a panelist next year. I think that would be a great thing to see him next summer. So, yeah, if you know Ren, give him a little nudge. Tell him to come on down and check out the convention next summer, because he is so supportive of the show here. And definitely would love to celebrate him and have him there. So, and then of course we got the great Sandy Lender, the genre blender. Check out her content on Sandy Says Read YouTube channel. She's always got new posts going up there, always very insightful, very intelligent, great coverage, book reviews, discussions about writing. Sometimes she has guests. Great BookTube channel, but here it is from Sandy herself.
Start Chamber listeners already know that author Sandy Lender offers you a variety of spec fiction and epic fantasy adventures to help you escape reality. Did you know she also offers positive, quirky book discussions and reviews on her BookTube channel, Sandy Says Read? Check out the Sandy Says Read channel on YouTube for over 600 book chats to entertain you. The channel includes the Indie Book Spotlight and the DIY for Creatives playlists, along with others to help you find videos and essays that pique your literary interests. Subscribe for free to the Sandy Says Read channel in time for the Monday night upload and join the community where our motto is, you can always find something good in a book.
And thank you, Sandy. Yeah, she is awesome. And I did. I'm going to have to, it's going to be a little tough. I'll be doing double duty tonight, checking the chat room. But yes, I did see the comments from Moon there asking if he is weird, asking if Ren Garcia is weird enough for us. Yes, I can confirm that he is weird enough for us, Moon. No question about that. And then his comment about Sandy. Sandy also has a great newsletter. Yes, definitely subscribe to that. It's a really well done author newsletter, and you definitely would enjoy it. I'm also a subscriber as well. So yeah, good catch there, Moon. And so yeah, we're going to go ahead and roll into our guest of the evening. We're actually about a minute and a half ahead of our guest segment. So are you impressed, folks? Not only we are on time, we are early just a little bit, but our guest is on deck. So I'm not going to be ambushing our guest of the evening. And our guest of the evening is an Imagine award-winning author and screenwriter, and as if that's not enough, a publisher. He is the pride of Stoke-on-Trent in England, and he is also an Imaginarium favorite and a favorite of a lot of folks in this writing community. So welcoming on to the show tonight, it is my honor and pleasure to bring aboard the amazing Mick Williams. And Mick, your mic should be on.
Can you hear me, Steve?
There, I can hear you loud and clear.
Dude, I'm blushing. Stop it. I'm blushing.
Well, don't worry.
It's good to be back.
We're not going to let you take any collateral damage tonight. We're going to do whatever it takes to give you a good show.
That's just fantastic.
No, we're not going to do it. It's good.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute, and I was gave Mick a little bit of a heart palpitation earlier, because I told him, I said, okay, in hour 1 we'll cover bourbon, hour 2 writing, and hour 3 we'll just vent about the trials and travails of the indie book world. And we'll do a 3-hour show, Mick.
Yeah, we're gonna need more than 3 hours to cover that lot.
Well, we might talk 4 hours if we got into some of those topics, but no, Mick, we will not do that to you tonight. But
I appreciate that, Steve. I'm old.
No, as I say, we're older, not old.
Older. I'm experienced. It's funny that you just mentioned Ren Garcia, because I was looking at my copy of The Horror of Bloodstein that I picked up from a Kentuckiana Authors Blitz. I think it was in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
and it's a work of
Nice.
art. I don't know if anybody else has ever seen his books, and I haven't seen him since then, which is terrible because he's such a nice guy. But the graphics in it and the pictures are just amazing. I mean, it's a good story anyway. It doesn't need them, but it's just such a gorgeous book. So yeah, I would encourage anybody that hasn't picked up Ren Garcia's books to check them out.
Agree completely, and he has a great working relationship with his cover artist, and her name just it slips me at the moment. It's right on the tip of my tongue, but she is fantastic, and they've worked together for a long time, and it definitely is a testament to when an author finds a great artist to work with that really gets them. And really
that's it here, Carol Phillips.
That's it, Carol Phillips. Yeah,
Carol
thank
Phillips.
you.
Yeah, it's just stunning. Honestly, even if the story was bad, which it isn't, it's amazing. But the book and the graphics are just top notch.
Yep. Yeah, Carol Phillips, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Because that was a name that's right on the tip of my tongue, and it was just killing me. I knew it was a C name.
Matthew, I'll confess to cheating. I had to flip to the credits.
Did you? but it's wonderful to have you on the show tonight. And the sad thing is that I thought that I was going to get to see you in person, and then neither of us was able to make the Tony's Great Holiday Book Fair this past week.
Oh, you didn't make it either?
No, because of all this fracas with,
of course, the baby mayhem
going on with Holly and going to Indiana, and her going to Indiana, all this stuff. It's just a mess.
Yeah, is everyone doing okay?
So far. Good. It's just
Good.
very hectic, and we're managing two fronts, and she's managing one front up there. I'm doing another down here, and it's a lot to tackle right now. Yeah,
so, you're better folks than me, that's for sure.
It's you have to be a little crazy, I think, to keep up with all of it.
Oh yeah,
but as far as the latest report, I guess so far so good. As far as the pregnancy situation, it's
good to hear.
They're
send all love.
Very careful. Yeah, it's a very complicated one. She's been at the Ronald McDonald House over the past several weeks, and it's been a very something they've had to be very careful with. So they're taking their time, and so far they did start inducing. So it should be not too much longer in theory. So. Yeah, we'll that's the latest I know. So
as I always say, send in all those vibes.
Thank you very much. But it was a bummer. Because everything I read was Tony's event went fantastic again, as we all expect. And,
absolutely.
Michael Nost was there.
I know.
So I missed him too.
We missed out on some hugs.
Everybody. All kinds of folks. Yeah, it just killed me. So, but we're going to have to definitely all gather again as soon as we can, because I had been really looking forward to that one. That was going to be my holiday show, and the only thing I was doing around this time, and then there you go. So
life gets in the way.
It does, but like you said, whatever it takes, and you have a rewrite and a cover, and let's talk about it. So.
Absolutely. It's been a weird one. This is actually I think it's either the third or the fourth version of a cover for that book, and it all came about. I mean, it was written in 2017, so it's getting on a bit now, and it came out through Hydra, and not so long ago. Tony said that the rights were available. Did I want them back, or should we continue with Hydra? And it's been one of those stories that stuck with me. Especially the female character is a really strong young lady named Ashley. And I think that all my female characters that have happened since in the Orthodox Club series, Evie, Dud's wife, and in the Father Black books, Emmy, and then in Collateral Damage, there's two strong female leads. I think they all came from Ashley, from Whatever It Takes. And I don't think I gave it enough love. So I had the opportunity to pick it up and go through it again. And I literally did go through it again, sentence by sentence, from page 1 to the end. And tweaked a few things, changed a couple of relationships in there. I was never happy with the bad guy's name, so I changed that completely. And then the cover at the time was awesome, but when I see it now, it's kind of dated. So I had the opportunity to kind of bring it back to life, as it were, because it was as I say, it's getting a bit of an old book. So I literally rewrote every single sentence that needed rewriting, got a new cover that kind of fits in with my branding, with what I'm doing now, and published it myself. And so far, the reviews have been pretty good.
Yeah, it looks great, and I love this story because it does illustrate one of the pros about being an indie author. The fact that, because if you're traditionally published, sometimes you don't get the opportunity to do a another version or a rewrite. And yeah,
Absolutely.
and this one, yeah, I mean, you did get to go back, revisit it, and make a few, change a few things up, and even, as you said, change a character name. So yeah,
it was a kind of a split decision, because I'm always thinking, like, you should just keep moving forward. You shouldn't really go back, and whatever you did before will always exist, and you want to create new stuff and keep moving forward. But as I say, this is one of those stories that's never left, and I just never get enough love. Plus, at that time, I had no clue about marketing, which I'm not much better now, to be honest. But it got some good reviews, but I just think it deserves a bit more love. So that's what it got.
Nice. Yeah, to be fair, though, the marketing, what works in marketing in the book world changes every 5 minutes. So,
You're not kidding.
it is hard to keep up with that, first of all. But talk a little bit about the new cover, since you were the publisher of this, who did it, and when you talk about making sure it fit your branding,
it fits our brand.
I'd love the audience to hear a little bit about what you mean by that.
Well, when I first started, I was like, you spend $30-$50 on a cover, and they look nice, but they're kind of generic. And I was very fortunate when I started the Father Black series. I got to know a artist's company in Ukraine called Mibel Art, and they've done all the Father Black stories. And I love those covers, and they're so good to work with. They're not $50 covers for sure, but the actual process, you give them an idea, because I'm terrible. I'm okay with words. I'm not too bad with words. I couldn't draw a matchstick figure to save my life. Yeah. So I mean, the cover of your new book is spectacular. I just want to put that out there.
I didn't do the art on that,
and I wouldn't do it either. But the way Mablock, the Mablock goes work is that you give them suggestions on what you want, and the cover and the kind of atmosphere, and just a brief description of what the book's about, and then they'll go away and come up with a concept and bring it back to you and say, like, okay, what do you think of this? And the first one that came back, it was like, it's okay. It doesn't really, it doesn't really fit in with this genre. It's like, kind of like an action thriller with a little bit of military tie, not too much. Doesn't quite fit. Can we do this, this, and this? And a few days later, an entirely different cover came back. And I'm like, okay, now we're on now we're on the right track. Can we just do this and this? Maybe the characters looking a little too tall, or the cover's a little oppressive, or this doesn't line up. And they my blog work with you every single step of the way until you end up with what you want. And they don't stop, basically. Until you say that's it, they will just keep changing and changing and changing. So they're not cheap, but I think that you get the results that you pay for. And so when Whatever It Takes came out, now I know exactly where we're at. They've already done 3 covers for me. They know my logos, they know my brand. This is about a guy who's hunting. So I want a guy who looks like a hunter, and he's in a small town. So I need a small town. I want a color that fits this genre. What can you do? And they came back with it. And honestly, it only had a couple of small tweaks, and we were good to go. And the cover that you see is pretty quick. It didn't take long at all.
Wow, because it's impressive. I mean, it really is very eye-catching, and you did bring out a few of the key elements in finding a good cover designer or artist to work with, and that's the way in which they respond to requests for revisions, and if they are good with that and easy to work with when it comes to revising, you found somebody really good. It's always
they're awesome. I could not recommend them enough. I don't think I'll ever go anywhere else. Certainly in terms of that genre, because they have my brand down tap. They know what my covers look like. They've already got all my logos stored, so that's not an issue. The only thing I've got to, I was laughing and talking to someone at the last book signing I was at. It's like, you're kind of running out of colors, because the covers all look kind of like the same kind of theme, but you need different colors. But colors are set to specific genres, so you can't put like fluorescent purple covers. There was an early iteration of this cover that was like real light purple, and the first bit of feedback came was like, well, that looks like a paranormal romance. Like this is definitely not a paranormal romance. so we had to go back, and they were like, yeah, we kind of thought the same thing, but that's what you asked for. And I'm like, yeah, I did, but you know best, so let's move down a different path. And so we did, and we ended up with the whole thing is set in fall in a small town in Kentucky. So we've got fall colors on the cover, and we've got the small town street, we've got the hunter, and it all just ties in perfectly to the feeling of the story. They did a real good job.
Yeah, they definitely did. And when you find somebody that you worked with, like you said, they get to know your style, your branding, and then every time you work with them, it really sinks in. And you
it's so easy. Yeah, it's like a first name terms kind of basis. Every time something crops up now, I just email them, and it's like, hey, you doing okay? Cool, yeah, okay. What do you need? And off we go.
So if you're listening, folks, you find somebody like that, you stick with them, even if it costs a little bit more. Even if it costs us a little bit more.
Yeah, as I say, it takes a few book sales to recoup the cost of that cover, but even if I don't recoup the cost of that cover, it's still on my shelf, and I like the look of it. So there you go.
Well, you are building up. I tell you what, you are building up quite a bibliography already. I mean,
it's getting there. Yeah, it's definitely getting there.
You've got quite a bit rolling out, because you mentioned the Father Black series, and I think tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about Father Black number 4.
Father Black number 4 is this morning. I did some this morning. 43,000 words is that right now.
Nice.
I'm not going to lie, this has been a bit of a trial, because the first 3 books kind of wrap up an overarching story. Where Father Black, and if anybody listening knows the story, he's a Marine Corps, and he's serving in Iraq, and he accidentally shoots a princess, and a shadowy organization covers up the accidental shooting on the condition that he owes them in the future. So 10 years later, they come calling, but since then, he's become a priest, and all they want him to do is go and assassinate someone in New York. So, bit of conflict. And the first 3 books basically are about what he has to do for them and his search to try and find out who it is that's blackmailing him. And the only way it's ever going to stop is if he takes them out. So he's got to battle his vows against what he needs to do to resolve his situation that he's not going to get out of, because they're not going to let him go. So once that arc kind of came to a conclusion, and so many people are like, oh, we love this character. And we love Emmy, the female character especially. She needs her own series, but you got to keep writing. I'm like, well, we've kind of concluded that arc. So I was trying to think of a way to get him back in the field. And I came up with something which I really like, and started writing it. And I was about 22,000 words in. And I just read back the last chapter I'd written. I'm like, this isn't working. And I don't know if it's ever happened to you or anyone else who's listening, but you kind of do a brief outline, and then you start writing, and before you know it, you've done 22,000 words, and then you sit back and think, I really don't like this. This isn't working at all. And then you sit there and think, well, why isn't it working? And it took. There's a girl I know named Julie Cox who casterized over all my books. She's awesome. If anybody needs someone to look over their books, let me know. I'll put you in touch. She's incredible. And it turned out that I'd written 22,000 words of action scenes, which is a lot of action in my books, but there was no character development and there was no real story thread. So big pause, bit of a sit down and think, well, what the heck am I going to do with these 22,000 words that I've just spent forever typing? And I eventually came to the conclusion that something I've learned from screenwriting is that there were too many characters in the story for one. So one of the characters has been sacrificed and completely cut, and then it was rewritten as more of a character arc story rather than just a bunch of set pieces. And now we're at 46,000 words, and the rest is outlined. And I'm hoping to have it done. I was hoping to have it done by the end of December, but it's probably going to be mid-January now. Hoping to have that finished, and then I'll be in touch with Marvel Art again for another cover, and I'll hopefully get that out in February, March.
Nice. Well, that's not a long timetable at all. I mean, that's right around the corner. So
yeah, well, I like to work fast because I've already got another 2 books outlined. Which is kind of scary, and also a screenplay that I want to do because I've done a couple of screenplays,
nice.
One of which has done pretty well. So yeah, I don't like to sit around and get bored. I like to keep writing.
No, and Carla says from the chat room, can't wait for the next one in the series. So yeah,
bless Carla. I know at some point tonight we've got to talk about Pen Crafters, and Carla was part of Pen Crafters.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You,
I was well. After we get done talking about Father Black, because I love because I did want to mention I love the fact that you made the character out of a priest because this guy right here went to Catholic school from kindergarten through 8th grade and then high school. So I had a life around. Yeah, I knew many Catholic priests throughout the years.
And I know you have a very busy life. If you, I was going to offer to the folks that are listening, I have a bunch of free codes for an Audible copy of Mission Black. If you want a free code, hit me up and I will send one to you with pleasure. He has a lot of very Catholic dilemmas that, you know, he has a guy in front of him and he's holding the suppressed pistol and he's thinking, what would God think? I did a lot of research, let me tell you.
Fantastic, yeah, because I knew many, and some were some of the best people I knew, and others I was like, oh no, but it's like
I know, it's definitely.
I knew a lot just through the years growing up, so that's I just think that's awesome that you made a character.
It's definitely a mixed bag, but I don't know if you're aware that Carla has just published her first book. And is working, I think she's got an anthology coming out. She's working on a thriller. She's basically another me when I started, where she's written a romance book, a thriller, a domestic thriller, a horror story. I've read some of them and they're awesome. So keep an eye out for her. She actually met me at Imaginarium the last year because
I got the picture of you two together.
Exodus was the finalist in the screenplay. I didn't know you were going to get a free pass, so I was like, you got to come with me.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a cool time.
If you are a finalist or accepted in the film festival, it does come with one. So that's why I always say it's a great value. But I was excited about Carla being able to attend, and I love the picture of you two that I've shared it online before in the Imaginarium channels. And but you did mention Pen Crafters, and of course to give a shout out to Lynn Tincher from the Ground Up Books, because that's the host of the Pen Crafters program. Now we've talked about it on the show before and love it. And I would love to give a little time for you to talk about your experience as one of the mentors and what you did with Pen Crafters, because I think it's great to show off, your mentoring side.
Absolutely. Well, it's bizarre and kind of like a full circle moment that I'm talking to you about this, because you are part of the reason I'm on the Pen Crafters program. Because no kidding, you and Tony Acree.
Yeah.
There are 7 people or 7 mentors in the Pen Crafters, and there's Lynn, obviously. I'm going off the top of my head now. I think she covers character development and the development phase when you first start writing. Irv Klein is in there, super nice guy. He talks about getting your work out there and improving your craft. Dan Klefdat, also super nice guy. He's a marketing guru. What you don't know about marketing, just see Dan. So he does a really good presentation on marketing. Tony, of course, from Hydra Publications, talks about how to approach publishers, and more importantly, what not to do when you approach publishers, because there are lots of pitfalls.
Yeah,
you do not want to be falling into. So he puts on a really good presentation. Dave Creek, awesome sci-fi writer. the first year I did it, he talked about world building. Last year, he talked about AI in writing, which is becoming a big thing.
Yep.
Ways to use it, ways not to use it. Some people love it, some people hate it. He did a really good presentation on AI and writing. Then there's Leah Pugh. She talked about editing and revisions because she's an editor. So, you're actually talking with people who do what they're talking about, not one of these guys that puts out a short story, then releases a AI book for $10 on Amazon.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of those about. And then my bit was about building your author community and paying it forward. And the reason I brought up your name is because I remember way back in the day, I think it was 2015, I think, so a decade ago.
I wrote the Middle Ages.
It feels like the old ages now. I wrote a romantic comedy called Reason to Grieve, and self-published it, made all the right mistakes. My family bought it and left tons of reviews. Nobody else even saw it. But it was going to be a one and done, but I had the bug, and I wrote A Guy Walks Into a Bar, which I really enjoyed writing. And you and Tony had given me so much advice at different book signings and fairs, especially the old style Kentuckiana Authors Blitz that we used to do.
Yeah.
And I think Addie Eve, listening to Dilio, is bringing that back. Which will be
Hold
awesome.
that thought. She's on next week to talk about a few things.
No way. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to stay up late again for another night. So I met you and Tony at various places. You gave me so much good advice so that when Guy Walks Into a Bar came about, this is back in the old days when we had printers and A4 paper, and I printed out 2 copies purely as a thank you to you and Tony, and gave one to you and one to Tony, and you were corner to corner at a book signing event, and you were like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a bidding war for this, and I'm like, come on guys. And eventually reached out to Tony and said, I'm actually thinking to go, I might actually do something with this. What do you think? And he's like, well, let's meet for lunch and we'll talk about it. And I'm like, okay. So I met him at a place that's gone now. I think it was the Raven, which it doesn't even exist anymore. And ended up leaving with a contract with Hardware Publications for A Guy Walks Into a Bar.
Nice.
So I wouldn't have even started. This was like 13 books ago. I wouldn't have written any of those books if it wasn't for you and Tony spearing me on in the first place and paying it forward.
I remember those days. And so, a guy walked into a bar and got a publishing contract. So
it did. Yeah. So ever since then, I've been like, well, this is how this world works, especially in the indie side. It's it's like a family as opposed to a bunch of folks. There's no competition because no reader reads one book. There's plenty of time. And so when Lynn's like, do you want to be part of this Pen Crafters program? I'm like, oh yeah, I'd love to. And I'm like, okay, well, do you want to do something like paying it forward and build? And I'm like, absolutely, because I know all about that. I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for paying it forward.
That is cool.
That's how it came about. Yeah, that's how it came about.
The story about about how you got involved with Pen Crafters.
Absolutely, yeah. It started a decade ago, basically.
Yeah, it's a great group, though. I mean, the 7 mentors. I mean, all of them, and I know, and fantastic group.
It is bizarre. Well, not bizarre. It's good that Lynn managed to get together a group of people that cover everything you need to know about writing that first word and seeing your book in the world. It covers absolutely everything, from writing to editing to publishing to marketing, everything you need.
And all of them have a mentor's mindset. That's a tricky thing, sometimes to assemble a group that each have that. And
that's Lynn Tincher for you.
Yeah, all of them, are very, where criticism is given, it's constructive criticism, not destructive, and definitely people that understand how difficult the writing path is, and so there's definitely understanding among everybody. And
no doubt that 22,000 words difficult. Yeah, it's not as straightforward as he didn't just kind of sit down and tippy tap for a couple of months and churn a book out. There's a lot involved.
And then you got that rascal Dan Clefstead, who's been mentioned once or twice on the show.
He's a rascal. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, of course that's a segue. I have to give a shout out to his great Vamp Chat with Dan and Eva podcast. It's on here on Podbean because he does a great job with that too.
He does. If he ever does a signing, if anyone's listening, you've got to go, because not only is he an awesome guy, but the stuff that he's got going on when he does a signing is it's like an event. It really is. He's such a cool bloke.
Yeah, he is an event. Dan is an event.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. We love him.
And then when he and Eva team up, there's such a cool synergy. Yeah, they're definitely.
Yes, I bet the last time I did know, Eva was trying to get me to get inside a coffin, and I'm like, I'm not that old.
Yeah, no, I'm not big on coffins myself, and I know, thankfully that I'm a little too bulky to fit in their coffin. So,
well, I'd like to think I'm a little too young, but I don't know. I'm thinking I'm being preserved through bourbon.
Yeah, that's the way to be. Yeah, I'd rather be preserved that way.
Pickled. That's the word. Pickled.
Yeah, pickled. Oh.
So Father Black, hopefully. I'm hoping for February. I hoped for sooner, but
yeah, that's not far though.
Life gets in the way. It isn't, so I need to step up. I need to crack on and get going. It's all outlined. I just got to sit down and find the time to get it written and edited and get that cover done and get it all together.
Yeah. That's well, I know that you're very efficient and you've got a good team that we've already discussed. So yeah, I think you'll hit it.
Yes, I'm in good hands.
Yeah, you're in good hands. And but yeah, let's go over those audiobooks again, because you had a couple audiobooks I think you have codes for, right?
Yes, it does. I've kind of been slacking a little bit in the audiobooks through Hydra, because all the Old Farts Club books have audiobooks done by this awesome guy named Jim Murtha, who he captured every character perfectly, and it's so difficult. I think whenever I try and speak in Kentucky kind of language, my wife tells me to stop it or she's going to divorce me because I sound ridiculous. And whenever a lot of American people try to speak English, it sounds equally like, no, that's not at all what it's supposed to sound like. But Jim Murtha, because one of the characters in the Old Farts Club is named English. He was born there and is part of the group. He even captured his accent perfectly. The whole thing is awesome. So all of those are available through Hydra, and we're looking at getting Hope's Game done. I had someone audition for, what was it for? It might have been for Father Black. No, yeah, it was for Father Black. And it was an English guy. And his voice was superb. I really enjoyed listening to it. But all bar one of my books are written in American English. And if you try and read them in English, they sound stupid. Like people ask me, well, why don't you narrate your own books? I'm like, have you heard my voice? And two, they're written in American English. I just can't do that accent. But this fella auditioned with an English accent that was absolutely superb. So I sent his details to Tony to try and get him to audition to read Hope's Game, which is the only book I've ever written that's set in England. So that's hopefully going to be in the works. We've got, I'm trying to think where I'm at now. So Mission Black is out with a guy named Holt Shepherd. All the reviews so far are awesome because he is a very enthusiastic reader. Again, captures all the characters, different voices, different accents. I don't know how he does it, but it's superb. I really enjoyed listening to that one. He is currently working on Going Dark, the second the second Father Black book. And uncannily, yesterday, the audiobook for A Guy Walks Into a Bar was released, recorded by a different fellow with a deeper voice. And I don't know about you, with fantasy books, whenever I listen to auditions for military thriller books, all the voices sound the same. Like for whatever it takes, it's like, when a widowed hunter witnesses an execution in a small town.
Hey,
they all sound like that. Yeah, they all sound like that, and I'm like, that doesn't give me the action aspect of it.
Right.
Sure, it's should I audition myself? Is that what you're saying?
I think you might. Because I've heard several thrillers that have that voice. So.
Every single one.
Maybe
every single one I've heard sounds like that. And I'm like, come on.
It was. Oh, wow, it was you. How about that?
Yeah. I'm going, okay, I'll fess up. No. So, yeah, I wanted to get away from that because whenever I listen to that stuff, 2 pages in, I'm done. It's kind of, and I'm not taking anything away from that kind of thing. If that's what your thing is, cool. It's not my thing. After 2 pages, I'm done. So I was very fortunate to find Holt Shepard for the Father Black books and Ronald Meyer, who does the Guy Walks Into a Bar. He's also going to go do the sequel Girl Walks Into a Bar next year. Mm-hmm. So I have Mission Black out now. Guy Walks Into a Bar just came out yesterday. Again, for anyone listening, I have got free codes for CDX files if you want to download them to Audible. Hit me up or hit you up and you can pass them on to me. It will be my pleasure to hand out some free codes and let you check out these books. They did a really good job with them. So I'm really proud of what they did.
So yes, folks, you get some Christmas gifts here on the show.
Christmas gifts off Santa Mick.
Free audiobooks. Nice.
It would be my pleasure.
That is awesome. And I do want to ask one thing that's kind of interesting about writing, though, because you did mention it, talking about American English and British English, because there are differences in a lot of word spellings, and not only that, there's differences in punctuation even, and some other things.
Absolutely.
Between the two. Now has that ever created a mess for you? Because obviously you're here now, but you obviously are from England. I mentioned earlier that you're definitely the pride of Stoke-on-Trent. But
if you've ever been to Stoke-on-Trent, no.
I've been to the UK, I've been to England, but I have not personally been to Stoke-on-Trent yet. No.
It's a nice small town with a community.
I do want to go to see the statue they raised of you there. Yeah.
There are plenty of other places to go to in England, but no, punctuation, yes, and Americanisms or Englishisms, as Julie calls it. I think I mentioned earlier that there's a girl named Julie Cox who goes through my books. We have an awesome relationship where most editors will wait until you finish the book and then take the entire manuscript and go through it. And she's like, send me that chapter, send me this chapter. Send me this chapter. And so as I'm developing the story, she's watching the story develop with me. Nice. Which is a very different approach. But for us, it works a treat. And if I kind of veer off path.
Because she's doing it in process of writing as well as
it works really well. If I kind of veer off path somewhere, she'll be like, shouldn't that be such and such a thing? And didn't he say this back in this chapter? And wouldn't he do this? And I'm like, yeah, of course you're right.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an author coach kind of thing going on there. Cool. That's
absolutely.
Awesome.
So, but of course she's American. She's from Oldham County. So every time I send it to her, she's like, we don't say this in America. I'm like, damn it, England. So she'll point out the Americanisms, and I can go in and change them up and make it back to what it should be, American English. She's awesome at that. And again, I'll shout out, anybody who wants to get her details, let me know. I'll pass them on. She's really, really good.
That's great. Great catch too, because some of my favorite, or most of my favorite authors are British, and so when I read, it just goes real smooth with me because I'll catch some, it doesn't trip me up, but I know that for some it might, because I do, and when I edit, I've worked with writers from the UK and. And so I have a sense of, the differences,
right.
And I have to shift gears because, like I said, there are punctuation differences and stuff too. So I edit somebody from the UK, it's a different ball game, but that's cool that she actually helps you catch that stuff in process. Yeah.
It saves a heck of a lot of time. If I go through the entire thing and I've gone down the wrong path, that's a lot of rewrites.
Yeah.
It's just one chapter where it's like, let's change this and make sure we stay on track.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. It sounds like an invaluable. And again, you're bringing up again the importance of developing a long-term working relationship with your team. And
absolutely.
Cover designers. It's another. I see another echo of that here going on. Somebody that knows your style, somebody that knows your tendencies. And
yeah, she's been with me for quite a few books now. So it's she definitely knows my style. And if it ever flags, I get a good crack at the back of the head and get yourself sorted, boy.
The more you know a writer, the more that you're able to help them, as an editor. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
So that's cool. That's cool. And it's good to hear that side of things too. But yeah, not, in addition to, talking about writing, between, American English and British English, the whole world of writing screenplays, however, is very different from writing prose.
Isn't that a learning curve?
But you're an award winner though. And,
oh my days.
And,
that's a learning curve.
Let's talk about your screenplay side of things, because I know Carol Preflat, she's listening. She did that transition and has been winning all kinds of awards.
In my mind, Carol's a legend. I've known Carol for a long time. She's an amazing person.
She is, but she's been just killing it on the screenplay side, and I see that starting to happen with you. So let's talk screenplays. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a slow burn. I've kind of been creeping into it gradually, whereas Carol kind of writes fresh screenplays from scratch, which I've never done yet. I absolutely respect what she does because she's very good at it. Her books are awesome, so the screenplay's got to be incredible. But no, my screenplay thing came about because a lot of my reviews for quite a few of my books, probably because of the way they're written, where there's tons of action, and if you switch on Netflix, the top 10 movies are probably action flicks. And so a lot of my reviews say this would make a superb movie. And I'm like, well, no one's ever going to pick up one of my books unless something incredible happens and convert it into a screenplay. So why don't I do it myself? So I stumped up the money for Final Draft because it's not cheap, and got to learning how it works because it's entirely different from writing a novel.
Yes, it is.
They're like chalk and cheese. They couldn't be more different. And I spoke to Tony again. He's back to being mentors. He's been there every step of the way on my journey, and said, how does this work? I mean, I've got this book here. It's like 384 pages. This was Exodus, which, as you say, it made it to the finals of Imaginarium, which was like, I'm living a dream. And it actually won. It was the winner of the New York Script Awards last year, which was, I drank some bourbon that night, I can tell you.
Observe it.
It was awesome. And I said, how do you do this? How do I convert a 384-page novel, to a 100-page screenplay? And they said, it's easy. Just like kill a bunch of the characters and cut some stuff out.
It's easy.
Is that all? And that's why that's going back to what was going wrong with the new Father Black book, where I had too many characters. In a screenplay, you can't have too many characters because they all need screen time, and you've only got, on average, 100 pages.
Right.
So you can't have all those characters. So I had to kill off a couple of the old thoughts, which broke my heart. And I sort of approached it with, well, I've got 100 pages of screenplay and I've got 384 pages of novel. So I need to condense each 38 pages of novel into 10 pages of screenplay.
Yep.
And I kind of, that was my first draft, was adopting that kind of attitude. And again, by the time I got to page 100 and there was still like 90 pages of novel left, I'm like, this isn't working. So back to the drawing board and start again and cut out some more stuff. And then it was learning how to write transitions so you didn't have to type in too much and take up page space describing stuff, because that just eats up the page space. And eventually I think I got Exodus down to like 99 pages in the end.
Wow. Nice.
With there's a lot of sacrifices. Some people died along the way. Not literally, of course. Yeah. And then that did really well. And I thought, well, yeah. So when Mission Black started doing really well, I'm like, and the same thing came about, like, we'd love this Emmy character, and we'd love this, and we'd love that, and this would make a superb movie. And I'm thinking, no one's ever going to do it. So again, I'll do it myself. So I took the same attitude that I had with Exodus, but tightened it up quite a bit because I knew initially that didn't work. And eventually, I think The Mission Black comes in at dead on 100 pages.
Nice.
And
Well done.
I think one character died from the novel that doesn't appear in the screenplay, and there's a whole scene, a whole chapter basically, that makes sense in the book, but with a few rewrites and tweaks, I was able to kind of leave that out and make it still work in the screenplay. And so we'll see what happens with that. That's actually I sent that through to a Nightarium just to see what happens with that one. Tony did give me some awesome advice for anybody into screenplays, and Carol will probably echo this, that you can't really base yourself on screenplay writing with a couple of screenplays. You need a collection. So that people, if anyone is interested in screenplays, can see that you can be consistent and you're not like a one-hit wonder.
Right.
And, you have like a catalog of work in different genres, maybe, that shows that you're able to adapt and do it, under pressure and churn out some good stuff on a consistent basis. So much harder than writing a novel. Not that writing a novel is easy at all. It's really difficult. But I find writing a screenplay to be even harder, but tons of fun.
Well, I mean, I give you a lot of kudos because I have done one adaptation. I did it for not one of my books, but another writer's book, and it is not the easiest thing to do at all in adaptation. Not at all. Because deciding what to keep and to get down, so it pares down to that zone that you talked about, around 100 pages for a feature length project. And, there's been a lot of estimates on the percentages of a book that get knocked out in a standard screenplay adaptation. But an adaptation is its own beast as compared to an original screenplay. And it's there's an art to that too. So congrats, because that's not an easy thing. Because as authors, especially if you're doing your own adaptation of your own work, you're also having to combat the fact that you're very wedded to that piece to begin with. The novel. Yeah,
it's painful to kill off your babies, as Stephen King says, kill your darlings.
But the way you talked about it shows you understand that these are apples and oranges, and it's a different type of storytelling. And so things that work in a novel don't necessarily work in a screenplay, and vice versa sometimes.
Just because I'm bored, I get bored a lot. like we've got nothing else to do. Someone mentioned to me not too long ago. I joined a psychological. It's called Killer Thrillers. It's a Facebook page, and they do a lot of psychological thrillers. And I've only really written one kind of that kind of thriller called Final Clearance, which is about a guy who works in retail and cracks and murders a customer, and finds that he's actually pretty good at murdering people and he can get away with it. But he's also got to babysit this 10-year-old while he's doing it. And it reads like, I don't know if you ever saw the Netflix show called You, but it reads like that kind of, the character's voice is basically the guy from You.
Nice.
And so someone said, same thing again, this would make an awesome movie. And I'm like, yeah, but no one's ever going to write it. So I guess I better write it myself. So in between finishing off Father Black #4 and outlining the next Collateral Damage book, the second book in that series, and a fresh thriller that's going to be a standalone, I also plan next year to convert Final Clearance into a screenplay.
Nice. All right.
Because I've got all the time in the world.
That's on the well. I was going to say, as prolific as you are, it's hard for me to believe you ever get bored.
I never get bored. I never get bored. Yeah. No, I had this idea the other day. I can't think where we were. We were out somewhere, and I saw this fella scavenging in a trash can, which obviously is awful. No one should ever have to do that. But I just thought, well, what would happen what would happen if he found something in there that was kind of like, off the wall a little bit? And I came up with this idea of this disgraced cop who's homeless now, who lives between a shelter and a park, who finds he's starving, so starts raiding the trash cans, and he finds 2 severed fingers and a flash drive wrapped in some paper tissue.
Wow.
And so, of course, then he's like, okay, well, I know people at the station that can do fingerprints, and I know people that can decrypt flash drives, and I'm like, well, where could that go? And so I have an entire outline for that now to do as well.
Cool.
And I don't know what to call it. I can't call it the 2 severed fingers and a flash drive. That just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that one's going to roll. But that's
provocative. But yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue quite so well.
I'm seeing my blog trying to design the cover. Like, what the heck does he want for this one? So that's also in the future. So I'll never be bored, like you say.
And if that's not enough, I believe you have a Collateral Damage sequel.
That is outlined. Yes, that is outlined. It's funny because I think Carla's still listening. She posted something on her Facebook on a sticky note. Like when you pants stuff, you write one thing and then you can just completely discount it and just do your own thing anyway. And I've been trying to get better with outlining, and I've got a whiteboard now in my office here, and I've got some different colored sticky notes, and I've basically got about, I want to say it's like 30 pages of notes now on the plot for the follow-up to Collateral Damage. I don't have a title yet, but it involves, I was reading something about drug barons using submersibles from Ecuador. So what they do is they fill these submarines, these 2-man submarines up in Ecuador, and they sail them out into neutral waters where they're met by small boats, and they rise and unload all the drugs and then scoot them off to America and to Europe. And I'm like, that's in a bad way, cool story material.
Yeah, it's good story material.
It's good story material. And I'm thinking, well, Katie King and Amber Bardi from Collateral Damage need to get called in on this to kind of take someone out and to find out that things obviously aren't what they seem. And I've got to involve one of these submersibles in this story. And so all of a sudden there's 30 pages of notes, and I have a decent outline for a sequel to Collateral Damage.
Yeah, then you could do a book appearance where, it's on some store on a river bank or lake where you pull up to the vent in the submersible.
I got to get one of those remote controlled ones to surface out of the water.
Right.
Freak everybody out.
Well, that sounds really cool, and because I find the whole underworld thing with smuggling and tunnels and submersibles and all the little tricks that are used. I mean, that's interesting.
It is scary. The research it is for going dark. The second part of Black Book is based on the tunnels that go from San Diego to Tijuana in Mexico, and there was one that was collapsed by the drug company. The police anti-drug company, 100 yards from the main customs checkpoint. Mm-hmm. That's how close. That's how brazen they are, basically. And as soon as they collapse, 2 more pop up somewhere else.
Yeah, there are more tunnel complexes, not just what drug people do, but also government and others. There is a ridiculous amount of tunnel complexes that we are not aware of that are
absolutely
all over the place.
Our borders should be caving in.
Yeah,
but they dig them well.
For many sources that bore them. It's an interesting topic to do a deep dive on.
It's insane. And I think it must be catchy because quite a few of my books have involved drug lords, like Vision Black's. He has to go and assassinate a drug lord in New York. I think I need to maybe find a new topic after this one before I run it dry.
Well, it's an interesting topic, and there's just 100 different angles or 100,000 different angles you can take.
There's tons. There's tons. You could go on forever.
But so you've got this arsenal of new stuff on the horizon. You've got a new book release looming in early 2026, and I know you're active out there. So give us a little picture about the Mick Williams event schedule coming up. Obviously, we know we're going to be at Imaginarium, but what else are you doing?
Absolutely. Honestly, I actually sat down and chatted with my wife just the other day because we couldn't make the LaGrange thing, which I hated because Michael Nost was there and I needed a hug. And
I hated it.
We thought you were going to be there, and Tony was there, and Misty Parker was there, and so many people that I know.
Yeah, Carol was there. I saw Carol was there.
Yeah, so it's like this whole indie family that I feel like I let them down, and so I've got to make up for that.
Me too. I feel that way too.
Initially, I have nothing planned in terms of signings yet.
But you will.
Once I get something down for the next book, this is the year that I'm going to get out at least a couple of times a month and try and do signings, and also get out of Louisville, out of LaGrange, because I love LaGrange so much. I love Louisville, but there's a whole world out there with a different audience.
Well, I mentioned one, Fabled Forest, down here in Georgetown, Kentucky, right outside of Lexington.
I've got to get down there.
Great community there, great owner Bobby Craig, and you definitely want to just to give them a shout out and encourage you to do an event there. To
check out with them. You'll have to send me their details. We need to get down there anyway, because we all need to get together for that Chinese place that you go to.
you know it. That and definitely I could definitely do with a holiday bourbon, because it's been a little stressful.
No doubt. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm actually sipping a bourbon as we speak, even on a school night.
Thank you. So you're going to drink for me tonight, because all I have with me tonight is Ale-8.
It's a small one. It's a small one.
But Ale-8 is very Kentucky. Ale-8 is very Kentucky, so it's very Kentucky themed. So.
I Stepson loves Ale-8.
Ale-8.
I should give a shout out. There's a place where I write quite a bit, because there's a winery which a lot of people don't know about in Buchel. It's off Bardstown Road, and it's just as you take a right off Bardstown into Buchel, there's a train track that goes right across the road. And if you take a left at that track, there's a winery there called Off the Rails. And it's a real small mom and pop kind of place. It's run by a Marine veteran and his wife, and Alicia helps out behind the bar, and it's just the three of them. But everything in the place is from Kentucky. Everything. Nice. The wine's homemade. All the beer is craft homemade beer. All the bourbon's from Kentucky. And the last time I was in there, they introduced me to this bourbon called True Story. And I'm like, well, what are you going to tell a writer about a bourbon called True Story? And so I'm actually sipping on a True Story in your honor as we speak.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. And you're right, though. I mean, Kentucky does have it all. They got good distilleries, good wineries. We've got, good beer, good microbreweries. I mean, really do. Yeah. We do cover it all.
They're awesome. If you ever wanted to do a signing up here, let me know.
Yes.
And I'll hook you up with them.
Absolutely.
I was in there. I've done 2 there now. The first one was Collateral Damage, and fun story. I'm sure she wouldn't mind. I don't think she'll listen to this anyway, so I'll get away with this. The Katie King character in Collateral Damage is based on the mother of my stepdaughter. So when we went to their wedding, my stepson and his wife, at the end of the night, the father or stepfather of the groom has a dance with the mom of the bride, and we'd all drank too much wine, of course. And she was like, "What are you working on?" And I'm like, "Well, I've got this theory about no one's ever written a story about disappearing ink, not like disappearing ink INK, but disappearing ink INC as a company. Like, we can make people disappear, like literally. So it's a company of assassins." And she's like, "Do it and make me the main character." I'm like, "Okay, nice. No pressure." No pressure. And so that's how Collateral Damage came about. It's based on another Katie. Her name is Katie. And we did the first signing and the launch of it at Off the Rails, and it was packed. And I signed so many books, and I directed them to where she was sitting. She also signed the books as Katie, as the character. It was such a lot of fun. We had an awesome day. And I hope to get her to do it again with me at some point.
It's something I always encourage people to do. Don't just do book events or book venues. Think outside the box in terms of venues, because I've done amazing signings at like Kroger Wine and Spirits. I did a books and bourbon event there that was just awesome, and as an example, and then as you said here, you had a great event. But yeah, when you host a book event in a venue that's a little out of the box, they go real well sometimes. They
do. It was awesome, and plus it was packed. And as I say, the folks at Off the Rails are such nice folks. I would do anything possible to promote that place. If you're ever in the area, go pay them a visit. They're awesome.
Yeah, That's awesome. And but now I did promise you not to keep you for a 3-hour show tonight. So
Two's fine. Two's fine.
But,
I wanted to. I know it's kind of like a soft. I wanted to ask you about your book because I picked up a couple of your books back in the day, as I said when we first ever met. But your new book really has caught my attention, but I didn't know a whole lot about it other than the cover is spectacular.
Well, thank you.
So can you give me a quick rundown on what your new book is about?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot here because I just want to talk about Mick Williams.
No, we've got to give and take here. Come on, step up.
Okay, I'll do it very, very briefly and quickly, but it's set in a near future society where technocracy has settled in full. So everything is run, by smart devices. Everything is monitored. Everything is measured. Everything is allocated. Unemployment is extremely high. So there's like a rotation of credits and almost like a UBI in kind of system involved. But it is it has very dystopian elements, but also utopian. That's why I say it kind of combines the kind of themes of like things like Brave New World, dystopian, or no, Brave New World being utopian, 1984 being dystopian. So it has a little bit of elements of both. And it's about a group of young folks coming of age in their teenage years who develop an ability. They're born with the ability to basically, it's kind of like an astral projection. They can go out of body. And once they discover the ability to do that, they realize they can go into dreams. They can go different places in the known universe, and they also discover other realms of existence. And so, as this opens up to them, they start discovering that there's a lot more going on under the surface on the cosmic level. And so it is set on a large stage, but it follows 4 primary characters that begin in this kind of high tech world, but they discover some more metaphysical kind of abilities and things that are kind of hinted at by quantum physics. And so I've had a lot of fun putting that together. Yeah, even with downloading consciousness, in terms of or uploading consciousness that gets into some of that kind of stuff. It's got of course a lot of VR, AR kind of technology being used. It's got things about dreams and all kinds of environments within it. So, but yeah, it's a story that kind of unfolds around those 4 characters. Characters.
Okay. Sign me up. That sounds like Ender's Game meets Nightmare on Elm Street meets Stranger Things.
Yes, in a way, yes, yeah, and I think like science fiction, and also who like kind of contemporary fantasy. I think there's stuff in it for all those kind of.
A bit of everything, absolutely. All right, so next time I see you, save me one for the next time I see you.
But I think you'd find it very enjoying. It does have some thriller elements for sure. So I think
sounds awesome.
Those aspects. Yeah. But thank you.
Thank you for sharing, because I was intrigued
tonight. But because we're here to focus on the wonderful world of Mick Williams, and
I'm excited. Share.
Because it's always great to talk to you, and certainly
the same.
Always miss you, and definitely it's one of the reasons I was bummed about missing the event with Tony. But
likewise,
but
it is definitely family, which I think anyone that's been to Imaginarium gets to understand that this indie author community around here isn't a bunch of folks that just write books. We kind of look out for one another.
Really do, and that's something that makes me feel good, because it's definitely
it shows. It's an achievement just in itself. To forget all the logistics and programming, just the fact that it feels that way is an achievement.
That was the intention from the beginning, so that's we will do our best.
Consider it accomplished.
But yes, we made it on the time that I promised you. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining me tonight. And I will definitely. You're welcome back anytime. So all you got to do is just email me. Hey, I'm ready to go back on the show, and we'll get you back on.
Well,
don't worry.
If I find something useful to say, I'll let you know, and we'll work it out.
I'll probably have 6 more screenplays, 4 more books, and it'll probably be like no.
As I say, I'm hoping next year. I'm hoping to get out a bit more. I'm getting into audiobooks a lot more because I've already written the book. I just need to find the right person to read it.
Yeah.
And I've been so blessed. I didn't mention it. Collateral Damage I found an amazing narrator for Collateral Damage, but she's so busy she can't even start it until late February, early March, which is a good sign because obviously it means
That's
people
not
have
too
signed
long.
up.
Not too
And
long.
it'll soon be here. But yeah, so anybody listening, if you want a copy of Mission Black or Guy Walks Into a Bar, hit me up on mickwilliamsauthor@gmail.com or my Facebook page, or reach out to Steve and he can pass it on to me. It would be my pleasure to send you a free code so you can check them out.
And that was a perfect segue, because my next thing was I was going to tell you to tell folks how to find you to get these codes. So
You can find me in a number of places. As you probably realize, I'll talk your ears off if you get me started. So you can email me, mickwilliamsauthor@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook also as Mick Williams Author. I'm on Instagram also as Mick Williams Author. I got off Twitter, X, whatever it is. I did away with that. And that's about it. But mainly my emails or Facebook or through messaging. I love to chat, get in touch, and I will talk your ears off.
You will, and it's always a great thing, and I love it. And you have a great website, by the way. Yeah, I encourage people to check it out.
I should. I need to get back to that. It's so neglected. I'm so flake. I get so involved with writing that I forget about the other stuff. Like, I've got a website. So
you do, and it's well laid out. It's really well laid out. Yeah,
I like it, but whatever it takes isn't even on there yet. And it's
I noticed that,
but
I wasn't gonna call you out on that.
Oh, you should call me out for sure. I deserve it.
Not on the air.
Oh, I'm big enough. You can do it. So yeah, I really need to get in there and make that right. I also need to set up some kind of shop, because I've been reading how a lot of authors have been putting stuff on Amazon, of course. But if you have your own ISBN and you don't kind of annoy Amazon too much, sell stuff from your own website. You can personalize stuff and offer different things on there and some swag. And again, Carla, who was on here, one day Carla will be on this show. She has a website and she sells her own stuff, and it looks like she's doing okay out of it.
We welcome her on the show anytime.
She's listening, so yeah, I'll get her to reach out to you when she's ready. Yeah. But yeah, I really need to get back to my website and give it. I
need to shop too, so let's both make that a New Year's resolution. You and I both
absolutely.
Get shops.
We're missing out. We're missing out, especially on things like audiobooks, because you can. Yeah. So yeah, we're missing out on something there that could pay for these covers that we have to get designed.
So, you got it.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to. Well, she's volunteered to help you with the website. Carla just has.
Actually, really, I don't have any screen in front of me, so I have no idea what people are saying.
So we have accomplished. We've accomplished some things tonight on the show. We've got you help on your website.
that means you got to take it off the rails now and buy some wine and sit there with a laptop. That's terrible.
Oh man, well, it's been a pleasure, Mick, and I definitely look forward to the next time we visit. And I've managed to keep you on time, so I feel good. And so, but yeah, come back anytime. And thank you so much.
An early call tomorrow. It's always a pleasure, Steve. Thanks for having me on the show again. It's been too long, and hopefully I'll get back on within a few weeks or months and tell you about the next book.
Anytime, and thank you for having a bourbon for me tonight. Much appreciated.
It was my pleasure.
You take care, Mick, and I'll see you soon.
You too, buddy. Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye.
And folks out there in listening land, thank you so much for joining us tonight's show. It was fantastic. Check out Mick Williams. Definitely get a hold of him for those audiobook codes that he offered tonight, because you definitely don't want to miss out on his storytelling and everything about it. But thank you very much for listening. Stay creative, and we'll catch you next Wednesday at the usual 9 p.m. Eastern time with another great guest, another great show. Signing off tonight for the Star Chamber show tonight. Take care and have a good night, everyone.